If you've spent the last year building AI agents with LangChain, you've probably hit a wall. Maybe your chains have grown into a tangled mess of callbacks and custom logic. Maybe you're spending more time wrangling the framework than building the actual intelligence. And now you keep hearing about CrewAI, with its clean role-based abstractions and built-in collaboration patterns. So the question is, how do you move your existing pipeline over without tearing everything down and starting from scratch? That's exactly what we're tackling today. Let's start by understanding the philosophical difference, because it shapes everything about migration. LangChain thinks in terms of chains and runnables. You compose sequences of calls, each one feeding into the next. It's flexible, but it's low-level. CrewAI thinks in terms of agents, tasks, and crews. Instead of describing how data flows step by step, you describe who does what. You define an agent with a role, a goal, and a backstory, then assign it tasks. The orchestration of how those agents talk to each other is handled for you. So your first mental shift is moving from imperative pipelines to declarative team structures. The good news is that your tools port over almost directly. If you've written custom LangChain tools using the base tool class or the tool decorator, CrewAI can consume those with minimal changes. CrewAI even has a LangChain compatibility layer, so a tool you built for retrieval, web search, or calling an internal API can be wrapped and handed to a CrewAI agent. Practically, that means the most expensive part of your code base, the integrations you painstakingly debugged, survives the migration intact. Start your port here, because it gives you immediate confidence that the plumbing still works. Now let's talk about your prompts, because this is where people get tripped up. In LangChain, your behavioral instructions often live inside sprawling prompt templates with manual variable injection. In CrewAI, a lot of that intent moves into the agent definition itself. The role, goal, and backstory fields effectively become your system prompt, generated dynamically by the framework. So take that giant prompt that says, "You are a meticulous research assistant who always cites sources," and decompose it. The persona becomes the backstory, the objective becomes the goal, and the specific deliverable becomes the task description. It feels strange at first, but it produces far more maintainable code. Consider a concrete example. Say you had a LangChain pipeline that scraped articles, summarized them, and then drafted a newsletter. In LangChain, that was probably 3 sequential chains glued together with output parsers. In CrewAI, you define a researcher agent, a summarizer agent, and an editor agent. You assign each a task, set the process to sequential, and let the crew run. The handoff between summarizer and editor happens automatically because CrewAI passes task outputs as context to downstream tasks. You've replaced dozens of lines of glue code with 3 clean agent definitions. Don't ignore memory and state, though, because this trips up real production systems. LangChain gives you explicit memory objects you attach to chains. CrewAI handles memory at the crew level with short-term, long-term, and entity memory you enable with a single flag. If your old system relied on a custom conversation buffer or a vector store for history, map that intentionally. Decide whether CrewAI's built-in memory is sufficient or whether you need to plug your existing vector database in as a tool instead. A word of caution before you commit fully: migrate incrementally. Don't rip out a working LangChain system overnight. Run a single subpipeline through CrewAI in parallel, compare the outputs, and validate quality before expanding. Keep your evaluation suite running against both. So that's the roadmap. Port your tools first, rethink prompts as agent identities, restructure chains into crews, and handle memory deliberately. Migrate piece by piece, and you'll end up with a system that's dramatically easier to reason about. If this helped, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.